I'd put it in. Do you know what? You need to get in this fucking Discord. That was it. I don't know about you, chat. That interview though, that chat with Yasha, that was fucking inspiring. That blew my mind. How good that was. What is this called? Just get out the fucking game letters. And where is Rock? It says he's online. It is meant to be Rock, innit? Let me just get the... Yeah, Rock and letters. And then Raz and Von! That's going to be a good one. I'm excited for that. Trust me, Ashley, get him told. Get him told. I'm a potato. Rocrice. Fucking love Rock. I don't know what he's playing at. Argues. No worries, brother. How was that chat? Did we enjoy it? Got a whole lot more coming up. Pick an aisle, is it? Course letters is running late though. I'd expect nothing more. Bro, you were great. You were great. I just can't wait for us to have like a proper chat, just shooting shit and stuff. That's just it's gonna be so good. There he is. There's the guy. It was so good, Yasha. We played like 2 games of Fall Guys. We didn't even get into it.
Yo.
Here we are, Rock. We've never. This is. Do you know what? This is going to be crazy. Like when I was talking to Yasha, then I speak to Yasha on a daily basis on the phone almost, or through games. Obviously, I've been in your streams and heard you talk while I talk in a chat, and vice versa. But we've never actually talked like this, which is like,
yeah,
it's a bit. It's almost like we're breaking down that streaming wall. Like we're not
That's
meant
right.
to speak. We're not meant to speak.
It's a maiden voyage.
It feels great though, brother. How's it going?
I'm doing good. It's bright and early here, so just getting going, but glad to be here.
What time is it over there?
4:30.
In the morning or in the afternoon?
Morning. Yeah.
Shit! Well, as I've said to everybody so far, I appreciate everyone like buying into this, and I appreciate the sacrifices everyone's made. People have taken vacation time. People have, cancelled family events. People have done all sorts.
Of course, wouldn't miss it.
But 4:30 in the morning. I mean, I was up at 6 a.m. To get ready for this. But 4:30 is some dedication.
I was even up at 3 to catch the beginning.
Oh really? So you've been watching it from the start?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit! Fuck. Right. I'm gonna,
That's dedication,
I feel some pressure now to really live up. But you're one of those people, Rock. Me and you have known each other since the starting of my streaming journey, at least. I don't know how long you were in the community for before, but we've known each other some time now. And you are someone I was very interested to talk to because so far, like it's been a little bit tough getting people to buy into this. The people that bought into it straight away. But mainly, every streamer is from the Twitch community, and you are someone who is involved in. Correct me if I'm wrong. Every community.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You did. I don't know if you still do, but you streamed across all platforms.
Yeah, so I was doing that for a little while, and then I think Twitch shut it down or something, or like the program that I was using just stopped. It won't allow me to do Kick and Twitch at the same time.
Yeah,
I can do like YouTube and Kick together, but it won't let me do Twitch and Kick together.
Yeah,
So.
no, I know they clamped down on it big time on Twitch. I know, especially if you're affiliated, part of the contract says that you can't multi-stream. Because I know Rising Phoenix got his affiliation taken off him temporarily for doing that. But I've kind of taken your thunder. But if you can take it away, for those of you that aren't aware of your content, who is Rocrice?
He is a very competitive person. I not in like I gotta win, but I like to compete. I like to play competitive. I also I like to play casual with friends too. It's really like it hits a lot of points needs in my life, gaming in general.
But what can people expect from your content? What would you say your and your platform?
I would say you get a chance to kind of personally talk to me on a personal level. I'm more than happy to. I actually encourage it to kind of just tell me what's going on in your day, stuff like that. I want people to feel welcome. I really love making people laugh. Like it's such, like life's too serious all the time. Like laughing is just, that's why I enjoy your and Yasha's stream all the time. I was saying I don't think I've ever left your stream without laughing. So no, I do appreciate it. Yeah, it's good.
No, do you know what? You are someone who has championed me from the very start. Like I do find, and I'm sure you're the same, because you have a great community. Obviously, part of the TMGC community, and we're all in the same circles. But you have quite a big circle yourself as well. And there's certain people within that community that bring different aspects and help you in different ways, and you are one of those people that I know that, like, if I ever talk to, I immediately get inspired to push myself and go harder, because you have such an energy. And it's the same in your streams, and we all know about time zones. Like, it's very hard to catch each other at times.
Yeah, that is literally the only reason why I haven't been in your stream more. It's like it's just in this really weird part of my day where I'm usually like always have to do something.
Yeah.
But I still try to get in there as much as possible.
Yeah, and I love that about the community in general, and about the circle we have, is that no one has expectations of anyone. Like, if you're in my stream, I love you for being in my stream. Like, and if you're sharing something, or if you're just dropping me a message like going, "Oh, I love what you're doing at the moment," or whatever, like that is sorry, I'm just Letters is just having a go at me because I've not accepted his friend's request. There's no kind of like there's no caveat to being my friend or to being a friend in our circle anyway. No one expects someone to donate, no one expects anyone to do anything other than just be present. If I reach out to you and drop you a message or need your help, I appreciate the fact that you'll do that. Like, we don't expect to speak to each other every day and have all these bits and pieces go on.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really refreshing. That I'm glad like other people look at it the same way, because it's just impossible. Like, everyone's got like so much shit going on in their lives, like it's everyone's doing what they can.
It's one of those last places that feels pure and actually genuine, at least in our community. I know there's a lot of negativity within the streaming space, and I'm not trying to ignore that. But like the Discord group we have, there's like 30 people roughly. Like, everyone seems so genuine. It doesn't seem like there's any caveat to any kind of like friendship we have.
I agree, absolutely.
Welcome in, Letters.
Took you long enough. I was in the and you weren't accepting my friend request.
Right, Letters. I hate.
I'm British. My bad.
Do you know, like, because me and you have a really good friendship, at least on my end, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So when we first met, it felt like I actually. This is gonna sound so, because of the friendship we have now, this is gonna sound so fucking wet and.
It's sickening. Okay. I love you too.
And sickening, but you are someone in the community that I looked up to. Very early on, and before I started streaming, I was watching your streams, and you have been in the streaming space a long time, correct?
Yeah, a little over 4 years.
Shit, but you are someone who is a fountain of knowledge, so I've got high expectations of you. But
oh, you're fucked.
But
If you're relying on an a-hole like me, we in trouble.
Chat, when I was putting together the schedule and the running order of everyone in this, I was so like when Yasha came in, and I knew the chat with Yasha would be very inspirational in a different way, and very dark in some ways, as it was. I don't think people can get away from that. I was so happy that Letters and Rock came next, because like they're both people whose humour I align mine with. Like they're both can be very dry but incredibly fucking funny at the same time. Oh, Smitty, royalty for sure, for sure. But Letters, I know you probably won't want to do this to any great degree, but tell people about your content.
This is the part where I told you I'd probably suck at this. Mostly the reason why I got into streaming is that when I was a kid, I loved watching my brother play. Like we'll play an RPG, and I'll pretend to be that character, you be that character, and we'll just go through, enjoy ourselves. And that's usually how I like to play. I'll play, and I like to have friends or just new people hang out and play, and just relax. I'm not a huge, super hype person for the most part. I'll act a fool, that you've known, throw some knives, but mostly I just like the relax type, I guess, background to where I've gotten into it. Especially if you're at work. A lot of my friends, when I started doing DBD as my first main game I streamed, a lot of them would be at work and couldn't play with me or anyone, but they would love to watch the vids afterward or VODs afterwards and whatnot.
I don't believe you can play. I think you're playing down your content. Anyone that hasn't watched Letters, I honestly, genuinely, and the time zones fuck it up because he streams like typically when I'm like doing bits of work on streaming and going to bed, so I'll like lurk or something, and I have to share my time between him and Brit now because they get jealous of each other. But anyone who hasn't watched Letters content, please, he is so fucking entertaining. He plays games that I'm not interested in at all, like is it called The Hunt that you used to play?
I loved Hunt Showdown for a long time.
Hunt
I
Showdown,
finally got away from it.
Yeah, and I wasn't a fan of the game personally, but watching Letters play it was fucking entertaining as fuck. So honestly, as much as he's trying to play himself down, he is hugely entertaining. And honestly, so if someone say, who should I follow on Twitch? Letters would be one of those people. So I'll start off with you, Rock. What got you into gaming originally?
So I wish gaming or technology was more advanced when I was younger. Because if it was like kind of around when I was, 15-ish, I would have done it right away. But it wasn't really too easy back then. I mean, this was still PlayStation 1, 2. So anyway, I got out of a long relationship, like 8 or something years. And the gaming kind of helped get me back, like kind of find myself again, like it was a good like substitute, like had more time, got to like bring back my passion for it,
Yeah. See, I love that. Do you know what I love about that is already like through these 2 interviews, like people have got different answers to what originally got them into gaming and why they did what they did. I find that so pivotal for men and for us to discuss. And I'm hoping Letters can weigh in on this because I know Letters is on the market. Yes, he is. But as men, we almost get shamed for gaming, don't we?
Let's just say my parents wish I got outside more.
But you know what I mean? Like I know myself. Like I only originally got back into gaming very recently because I gave up on my bodybuilding dream, but like I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere with it because I'd stopped doing steroids, and I wasn't as big as the people in the gym, and my body composition wasn't as big as the gym. And when I told people at the gym that I was going to start streaming, and I told people at work that I was going to start streaming, there was a hint of shame about it, like, or being shamed for it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, are you kidding me?
I believe that's more of a COVID, I think, thing. When COVID hit, a lot of people were streaming, and a lot of people were just like, "Oh, you're one of them," type things. Yeah. That's why I generally didn't. I think I told people at work if they asked, I'm like, "Yeah, I stream," but I generally didn't broadcast or tell them.
Yeah, but the shame that's put on grown men for gaming as well, though. There's always a caveat, isn't there? There's always like, oh, like what are you gonna do? Go home and sit in front of a computer?
Mm-hmm.
Like what should I do instead? What should I go? If I said, oh, I'm going to go home and watch a movie.
You like knitting?
A day with you. What do you mean? What are you supposed to do? Get out and do something. Go to a bar. Do this. Do that.
There you go.
Go golfing. I don't care what you do.
Letters. That you just hit it on the head, though.
Yeah,
if you told people you're going to go to a bar and have some drinks and maybe try and pull a beautiful woman, or there's no you're going to go and spend money on drinking yourself into a fucking coma. But if you say, oh, I'm going to get online and play games with my friends and speak to people online, it's almost like, what? You're going to do what?
Mm-hmm.
Like
my god!
It blows my mind.
I mean, try to convince your parents to wrap their brains around, because they don't see any issue of watching people play football, like college football.
There you go.
That's normal. That everyone's into it. I don't get how y'all play a game or watch somebody play a game. Like, y'all are doing it when you watch somebody else play football. I don't see you over there running 50 yards and catching a ball.
But there's also social interaction with streaming. You're meeting people from around the world. I mean, I've got friends now in. Obviously, I've got you guys in the US and people in Canada, but also there's friends that I've made who were in Poland and in India and Australia. Like, I would never have met those people, and sitting around with the same people, like say watching a football game, that's completely socially acceptable. What got you originally into gaming then, Les?
I couldn't tell you to save my life. I was gaming far into my little baby years. It feels like I don't know. It's just really I guess a mixture of being bored when I was a kid and not being the most popular person. I know, shocker.
How that changed? How that changed?
Well, I was never popular in school in general, but
now on Twitch, like Britt said the other day, you're the Twitch famous one in our group. You're the one with all the followers.
That's only because I've been doing this for a while, youngster.
So this is a good question then, because obviously, so you've been streaming for 4 years. Rock, how long have you been streaming?
Pretty much the same time as Reg, really.
Oh, so we all started around the same. So you started the same time as me and Reg, so like 2.5, 3 months ish.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So I'll ask you first, Rock. Then what? Because your memory of this will probably be far better than Letters. So what made you stream originally? Why did you pick streaming?
Well, one, I mean, it's just obviously something I love doing. So if I can get to meet like new people and get to play video games, I mean, it's a win-win situation in my book.
So when you first, just because I'm interested, so when you first decided to start streaming, who did you tell?
Really, I've only told one person, believe it or not.
It's kind of Letters that's just inspired this question. I've not actually got this written down. So you only told
one person? Me.
Yeah.
So who did you tell?
Just my friend that plays games with me all the time.
See, this is kind of, and I am gonna ask you about why you started streaming Letters in a second. But I'm really interested, because obviously everyone's approach is slightly differently. Why did you not tell anyone else?
I guess I really don't talk to that many people, and two, I don't know. I just wasn't sure if I was really going for it in the beginning. Like I probably would. I would now if it like came up in conversation, but I guess in the early stage I just wasn't sure if I was really going for it or not. But then like I joined and everyone's just so nice, and it just went way smoother than I thought.
Yeah, I do. I am very interested in that, and that's kind of why I want to start. Why I've gone over this, but why I started the platform is to show people how. Because when I started streaming, I did about 6 weeks of research before it, close to 2 months of research before it, watching stream scheme videos and kind of speaking to people in the community a little bit. And I was told that you'd be streaming to no people and no one would really speak to you, and you have to kind of there's this kind of grind mentality, and I'm all about it. Everyone knows I'm super into motivational stuff. But when I got into it, and then it kind of just like took off is probably not the right word, but kind of it went very smoothly, and affiliation came very quickly, and kind of I made a huge group of friends that I'm so thankful for. Is I didn't tell anybody for the same. Is that there was some shame of like, oh, what if it doesn't work and stuff like that, especially because of the bodybuilding community I'd come from.
There was some of that in there too for me, for sure.
Yeah, and now when people ask me, I go, oh yeah, like I'm affiliated, like this and this and this, and I'm like, there's so much pride in it, and there's still huge judgment. I tell you, like when I talk to people in the gym about it, there's the judgment is tangible, like you can feel it in the air. It's so funny. It's so funny, and I kind of like the judgment as well. Because I do believe there's a hint of jealousy from some people, because every man wants to like be gaming all day. 9% of men anyway. So 4 years ago, bro. 4 long years ago.
Gosh.
Talk to me about the process. And not just that, but also even though I've been on Twitch a long time, I've always watched gamers because I love gaming. But 4 years ago, what was the state of Twitch at that time and the streaming space, and what made you start streaming?
To be honest, I couldn't tell you what was going on with Twitch. I just remember knowing Twitch is like the main platform, if any, for people to stream. And I thought about it about a year or two before, but I've always lived at my apartment with like my brother, and then I lived with my mom a short time looking for my own house. And once I finally got my own house, I was like, perfect. I got my own room. Let's go. Because I never wanted to stream. Like I said, feel a little shamey, and I didn't want to bother my parents or anyone when I streamed. So I waited till I got my own house so I can do whatever I wanted. So if the stream turned into me screaming like a little girl at Silent Hill in the middle of the night, that could be my content, which never was, but it probably more Dead Space if anything. It didn't turn out like that. It's mostly just me playing what games I feel like for the most part, but I kind of keep to the core games. And I was like, I do this naturally anyways. Might as well get some money while I do it. And if I get not my insurance, my internet paid, if I never leave my house, cool.
I love that.
I'm going to do the same thing. Might as well get a little bit of change. Maybe I'll become famous. And I can tell my boss to shove it.
Do you know what? I love that. Do you know? Because
I'm not leaving my house. Maybe I'll get paid for it.
There's several things I want to touch on that, because honestly, bro, like I'm one of those people. I'm very upfront. Everybody knows that. I fucking love you to pieces, letters. I love you to fucking pieces, because
what did I do?
You have like this because there's absolutely no shame with you, and there shouldn't be. Like it's fucking refreshing, and this is why. I know from speaking to other streamers, there's a huge, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know everything. I've been in this space a very short amount of time, but there's a huge we don't talk about money aspect about Twitch, about streaming. Like people don't really talk about this, how many subs they've got. People don't really talk about a bunch of different things, but money is one of them. And I love the fact Letters was like, I can start streaming, and if I make some money to pay my electricity, pay my internet bill, that's fantastic. Like, like that was one of the reasons to start streaming. No one apart from Letters, I don't believe, says in this space, I got into streaming to pay my internet bill. Like,
I'm not going anywhere. I might as well pay for one of my bills.
Yeah.
And plus, I've met so many people from streaming that I wouldn't make any other way.
I love that, bro. It's so refreshing, because everybody, that no one says it in the community, but everybody hopes they make a bunch of money out of streaming. It's not the reason they start streaming, or not the sole reason they start streaming, but it is one of the things. The reason we strive for affiliation so bad is because making a little bit of money from playing games being able to say, my inner child right now, my 10-year-old self right now is going, you make a bit of money out of playing games. That's fucking amazing. I told my daughter, who kind of likes watching me play games, that like she's like, oh, do you get paid for it? Because she knows what streaming is, because she's nearly 10. I was like, oh, I make a bit of money, and you know, I've got a company that I'm partnered with, and I make a bit of money off that as well. And she looks at me like I am a fucking superhero. Like I could tell her I'm a fireman and I save cats from burning fucking buildings, and she would look at me with less envy than she does right now. Like,
it's kind of like how kids would look up back, I guess, when we were kids. It's Spider-Man, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
dressing up, except now it's
yeah.
you're a streamer. I know the streamer. I know Spider-Man.
Yeah, like what
right,
did
ready up.
XQC got paid more than like LeBron got?
Yes.
LeBron's contract, like it's getting like it's just up there with sports. Even like League of Legends sells out like stadiums and stuff.
Yeah.
For their
you look,
shit.
You look at World Series of Warzone and the E Arena events. Like I was watching the E Arena 75k 2v2 the other day, and I was watching it on Mutex's stream, who is probably one of my favourite streamers. Probably is my favourite streamer, and he had like 2,000 people watching him. Like that's some. I don't watch much college football, but that's bigger than like college football events. Like some of those stadiums, and we have like a soccer over here or football, whoever's watching. Like some of that, 2,000 people is bigger than some football stadiums over here. Like, it's crazy. Like. It's absolutely mental, and people like to say that streaming's like not as popular as it used to be. I would argue, like, you look at, like you say, the contracts and the amount of people that signed up to Kick recently or switched over to Kick, like the amount of people still doing it and still watching is fucking mental.
Right, I'm being the imposter deli meat.
Oh, I see. Well, you're still not readied up yet. I love this. Like we were saying, I'll play Fall Guys and stuff, but I've been streaming for 2.5 hours, I think now, and I've played 2 games of this.
I don't remember how to do this. I just remember you run around like drunk little beans, and
Well,
then you can
we're
jump, and then you
chatting
can
anyway.
dive.
So running around's fucking entertaining anyway.
I just like how on my screen I'm in the middle, and y'all two are in a very suspicious spots.
So, what does gaming bring to you now, would you say? Go on, letters. Take us off.
Damn. Why do I gotta go first? No.
It's because I asked Rock. It's because I asked Rock first the first time, so I didn't want
to.
In fact, I'll tie these two together, letters, because this may help you lead in. So, as a child, what did gaming bring to you, and what does it bring to you now as an adult man?
Well, I know as a kid it brought me satisfaction and just entertainment, because obviously you can do so much in those games that you couldn't do in real life. What the heck are we doing here? Now I'm contraing like a sweaty tryhard. I'm being pushed.
See, I'm just running around. I'm just running around.
Ow! No! I fell. But for the most part, I don't know, it's mostly entertainment, but a lot of it's mostly socializing, because a lot of people I know or hang out with generally play games. I think, hell, just streaming in general made me get to know people more.
So as a child though, was it the same reasons?
Not entirely. I didn't talk to people a great deal. I played a massive amount of Counter-Strike, which I guess is where I get a little competitive.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's hard to get people to acknowledge you as a kid, especially in shooter games, when the nickname Squeaker is attached to you because you were younger, you haven't hit puberty. And a lot of the, I guess, gamers back then were like, damn kids.
Yeah.
But generally, it was always my whole thing was to be good, be great at whatever it was, so they would tolerate me. Let's just say, like I said, I wasn't very popular at school, mostly because they didn't like me and I didn't like them, and you could go through a whole story of childhood trauma and issues, but with them, I was good at it. So I was just like, yes, confidence building.
Yeah. So you would attribute like the confidence you have now more down to gaming than anything else.
Yes.
Even though you may not class yourself as a confident person, but you come across very confident when obviously we play together and stuff like that. But yeah, the reason I harp on about this point so much is because I know as a child being told like about gaming and stuff like that, that you'd be socially inept, that you play games, you're gonna have no friends and stuff like that. And I would say I've made more friends in the past 2 months than I've ever made in my life. Like, so I think that's absolute bullshit. That point that you because people do think gamers have no friends and they don't go outside, which part of that is true. But
that's true when we were kids because we didn't have any online. Heck, especially for me, my parents didn't all them have that great deal of money, so I went from like PlayStation 1 and Nintendo all the way to late PS2 era, and even Xbox 360 was my first time actually playing online that wasn't a computer.
Yeah, mine was the first
I didn't
Xbox.
even have the DSL dial-up, so even when I played Counter-Strike when I was younger, that whole dial-up thing came and gone before I even got on the internet. So I never had to deal with the phone canceling out my internet connection because somebody called.
No, I think I never played online originally because I was in a very similar like social situation to you with regards to money and internet and stuff like that. But I used to play quite a few LAN events on Halo.
Oh my gosh!
Halo. Like LAN events for me.
Good days.
Good
times.
There's only one LAN thing I went to, and I paid $20 to go just play on their computers, and they had like Counter Strike, they had Wolfenstein, they had all that jazz. Which is here, $20 all night, go. Don't
LAN
be an
tournaments, I believe, was the greatest period for like online gaming. Like that was like because I used to play at a church, and so we'd go to this church, and there'd be like a whole bunch of us playing. And I wasn't like I think I've spoke to a few people who have come from a similar background to me, but I wasn't. I wouldn't say I was hugely popular at school, but I was involved in some very like negative groups of people. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. So I was never bullied, and I was never had any of like the stereotypical when people envisage gamers. But I used to tell these people that I was going to my parents, because if I told them I was going to a LAN event, they would think of me very differently, and So I used to like sneak off at weekends and go to see my dad, and then go to these LAN events and not tell anybody, and be around a completely different social group, and absolutely love it. And that's why I think now as a grown man, I'm finally around people that I actually want to be around. Like the people I was hanging around back then, through social conditions, I had to be around them. And now, like, I'm around these people, and these are the people that I used to love, and it brings me so much nostalgia to be on with, like, you guys. It's so great.
I would say, I guess one of the most times one of the points in my life where I got in trouble the most, but I didn't get my butt whipped.
So
it was just.
Listen to the sigh says everything. So, Rock, the same question to you, brother, because it's a very interesting question.
So what does it bring to my life right now? Is that what it was?
As a child, what was it? Did it bring, like, some people will say it was an escape. Some people will say it was like it was like something that was just like kind of instilled in them from a very young age, that this is what they wanted to do. But as a child, what did it bring to you? And as an adult, now what kind of impact does it have on your life? What benefits and kind of
Okay, yeah. So as a child, it pretty much was like it was a huge part of my life. That's I would socialize with friends, we would all get together, play. And hell, if I was allowed to, I probably would have played it 24/7. But,
correct.
Like,
we need to go to school.
So, like, my mom, like, we used to get kicked out of my friend's house you have to go outside. And he lived, like, 5 houses down the street. So we'd be like, fine, we'll go outside, and we would just walk to the other person's house and play video games there.
That is brilliant.
But now it's still huge for social aspects. I think it's great for people to have social anxiety because I mean it's a lot less stressful. Like you go out to like a party or just like a cookout or anything, you can't always necessarily just leave whenever you want. I mean, if you have anxiety playing video games, you just hit the off button. You know, you're good. No one really cares. People understand. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely get that. Like, I do think sometimes, like certain people I've played with, I think that's where the rage comes from sometimes. Because if they're having a bad few games, that they just rage quit. And I think sometimes, especially when they're streaming, I see it with some of the streamers I kind of watch, that they kind of rage quit because the anxiety kicks in so much. Like the amount of anxiety within the community and within society in general, but is real. And like I think that's kind of what I bring to the table. That's what I'm going to say I bring to the table anyway, because I am completely mid at COD and I have some horrendous games. But it's almost like you know, you can't let that anxiety take over, but you do have the opportunity, like you say, when you're streaming, to kind of just press, guys, I'm going now, like it's all getting a bit too much, and people almost understand that the hyper awareness of stuff like anxiety issues and stuff like that. The awareness that people have of it is huge, and I think it's so important that is highlighted, that everybody does have those same issues. To whatever degree is completely different. Like I know people who have quit a stream after 40 minutes and just post on Twitter like, my anxiety is too much today, guys, I can't do it. And they'll immediately get 10 comments of people going, completely understandable, like if you need to talk, whatever. Like it's so huge. And yeah, I don't think that can be focused on high enough. I've just realised how much time we're fucking burning through, so I'm trying to skip some of the questions because all of us talk way too well, and you can't go shit. So
go Dilly, go! Even though they had 17 seconds ahead of you, I think
you're still not in last somehow.
Right beside you.
No, I can't help it. I said, oh, Fall Guys, because we can just chill and talk, and then I'm getting competitive. I'm trying to scroll through the questions at the same time as trying to play the game. I'm like, ah! So what was your original question? What was your original console, Rock?
I think the oldest one. I know I played Sega and the original Game Boy. You know, that big ass gray one with Donkey Kong and
black and white.
Yeah, exactly.
And no backlight. The thing I didn't realise the other day.
God.
The thing I didn't realise the other day until I was watching I can't remember if it was a TikTok or a YouTube short or whatever, is there was no light on it. Because on the
I used to have this
Try to talk to a kid who's like, "What do you mean you didn't have color?" It hurts my soul when I heard that. I'm like, "What do you mean?"
I remember
with color by default.
The Game Boy Color came out with the torch, didn't they?
I had this giant contraption I put on it,
but you still didn't have a built-in light. I think the built-in light only came in with the SP.
Oh, was it the SP that had the light? Yeah.
Yeah, and you can have the attachment that's on it that
that's what I was
takes
away
your battery power, but that's an additional accessory you had to buy. And parents usually didn't buy that.
And this thing was huge.
Yeah, it was huge, but I was literally just about to say that. Yeah, I think it was a Game Boy Color that had the light that you plugged into the side of it and it went over the top. And you could get the magnifying screen with the light on as well, that I think you were talking about, Rock. And
yes, yeah.
But the battery life, and not just that, but then your batteries. Kids can't comprehend. If you run out of batteries and then you go, "Oh, Mom, can you pick me up some batteries next time you go shopping?" She's like, and my mum was broke. She was a single mom. She had 4 kids. She was broke. So asking my mum for batteries, my mum would basically be like, "Do you want batteries or do you want cereal tomorrow morning?"
What kind of cereal you buying me? It might change my answer.
It's that Raisin Bran again.
So what was your first console? Did you say the Sega Mega Drive?
Well, are you asking me or letters?
Yeah. What did you say your first one was?
I think it was Sega Genesis, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Sega Genesis. See, mine was the Mega Drive. That was.
I don't know if I know that one.
I'm trying to. I think it was. It might have been the Genesis. It was the black one anyway. It was all black.
Yeah.
And it had the circle on top.
Little boomerang-looking controller.
Yeah.
It's Genesis.
That was the Sega Genesis, then. That's the one I had. Yeah. That was crazy. I got bought that for like my 6th birthday or something like that. That was just before my dad walked out. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, there's so many little stories now I think about it. I've gotten in trouble because, like I said, for the reason of playing video games, sometimes I was a little addicted, like Pokemon. It's like, I gotta get those badges. I gotta get those badges.
So what was your first letters? What was your first console?
It's hard to tell, to be honest. Like, I played Sega and Nintendo, but I used to play, I think it's Super Mario Brothers 3. And I swore it was on Nintendo, but apparently it was on a Super Nintendo back in the day. So it's one of those three that were the first. That's the most pain.
How did you get it?
Well, I mean, the Mario one was at my cousin's house. Whenever I went, I would stay at his house for like an hour or so before school, when elementary school, because I worked right down the street. Parents dropped me off and play there, but at home, I always had the Sega and then the original NES. And let's say the Sega controller with the right game can give you blisters on your thumbs quite easily.
Do you know what? I'm so happy you just said that, because I was just about to say, like, the old controllers used to cause you actual like bodily harm, like.
Well, that's.
Oh my god, the Xbox One controllers.
Yeah, Xbox One, 100%.
Got black and white buttons and like 20 feet away from your joystick.
I usually didn't have too much trouble. Like I said, my trouble was the Sega Genesis controllers, because there was a Royal Rumble. It was just a simple wrestling game. Me and my brothers played all the time. But if you did AB or BC, and I don't know who would try AC with the weird hand, but when you put those two together, it goes for a grapple. And if the other person grapples, you have them hold hands, and on the screen above them, it's like a weird sideways hourglass, and it's a power bar. Obviously, who gets to the other side wins. And we would take the controller, if you can picture it in the head, we turned it sideways like a Guitar Hero, and we would turn our thumb flat on it and go up and down, and literally cause massive friction burn. Just go, just like make any noise we can, do anything to make our siblings giggle and laugh so we could win. Just a grapple, not even to fight. And then less than like a day or two later, we would have, I think the biggest I had, if you picture your thumb, the top 30% you can say was good, the bottom 20% is good, and it was just a massive blister from one side to the other. How large we burnt our thumbs.
I love this battle we were playing Royal Rumble.
Just like we couldn't play that game for a while. See, even if we tried to do something dirty and pop it, it's just like, no, that's not gonna work.
The best was, I think the best I ever had was, I think it was a Nintendo 64, which I still attribute Nintendo for having the greatest ever controller. I still think the N64 controller is the greatest controller of all time. I don't care what anyone says. I fucking love that. It
sucks. No, I enjoyed so much GoldenEye and Super Smash Bros. Original.
GoldenEye.
That's definitely one way to keep you competitive amongst friends. I usually played that with my cousin and a bunch of his neighbors.
It was so good. Like GoldenEye.
The controllers are so awful, but once you play it for like 30 minutes, you're like, I can do this.
I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. So just to switch, go on, Rock.
Oh, I don't mean to jump in. I just have to ask if you guys ever use it. So this was on regular Nintendo, you know, like the block one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever use the running pad? It was like a pad you laid on the ground, and there'd be little pads, and you play like Olympic games where you'd have to like just run in place and race like the person next to you.
I need to Google this. It was a running pad.
It was way before its time. Let me tell you.
It was the pretext for the Wii.
Yes, exactly.
What the fuck is that?
It's so ridiculous.
Like, if anyone in the chat wants to look what this looks like, it's called the NES Power Pad. I'm guessing is what you're talking about. And this is fucking mental. You know, Nintendo have always been way ahead of time, and I think they still are, because I still don't get some of the shit they do.
Yep, that's exactly it. That's exactly the one I had too.
What the fuck is that? That is crazy. No, I never saw. That's my first time seeing that. If you couldn't tell.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I played that one a lot.
Well, Smitty remembers it. Like it looks like one of those like dance pads, but I think it was Nintendo that had that like was it for flying games maybe? Maybe it was one of the Star Wars games, like a headset you put on and it had like a glass piece that went over your eye. Do you remember that?
First thing that came to mind when you see glass piece over your eye, I was thinking of a scouter for Dragon Ball Z.
Well, do you know what? It probably wasn't far off. But to change tack slightly, because this is again I've already said it when I was speaking to Yasha. This is one of the key reasons I started this is because I think this sort of platform is what, if I was getting into streaming, the sort of thing I'd want to hear people talk about. So if someone was to ask you letters about getting into streaming, and you know they were having anxiety or they were scared to press go live and stuff like that, what would your advice be? And I want to say this before you say you can't answer this question. You gave me so much fucking advice before I started streaming.
That wasn't what I was going to say. I was going to be really spicy in my answer. Stop being a bitch! No. Like I said, just not really man up, woman up, whatever you want to say. Because
Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
Just if you can't do it on here, you won't be able to really do it anywhere. You don't have to have a camera. Some people that are better at streaming than me that I hang out and talk to, streamer friends, never use a camera.
Yeah.
Let's say, and just you don't have to talk much if you don't want to. Just talk and chat if you really want to. But I think voice would be better. But take it as a slow introduction to exposing yourself socially. Yeah. You're not required to play games with people. You're not required to do this. You can set rules saying only do this if I ask, blah, blah, blah. You're not forced to hang out with anyone because it's your stream. If people want to listen to you and hang out, they will. If they don't, it's not the end of the world. So just get in there, no camera, play a game that you feel comfortable with or you like, or play a game where it's just like a puzzle game and you actually get people involved to help you. Whatever you think would be a better tactic. Just something you're comfortable with. Because once you get comfortable, you can slowly wiggle your way into a camera if you want, or doing other stuff.
I think that's actually great advice, letters, because what that's just reminded me of is a lot of people have struggled with a sense of control in their lives. Like I think that's what something people who have to go to work, people who have to do certain things, they struggle to have control in life. And I think streaming does bring that. Like I've never thought about it that way before, so like I appreciate that. Like you do control everything.
Yeah. I mean, I have my own forms of anxiety outside of work and things that I've been told it's this. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal, and I can tell them I understand it's not a big deal. My body rejects that it's not a big deal, and it overreacts.
Yes.
With streaming, even when I have that feeling, I can pause. I can walk away for a moment and recover. Or if it's really that bad, like that anxiety gets to you, you can stop it. But the more you do it and the more you push yourself, you're in a comfortable spot. I hope you're at home or wherever. I think it helps build it and get you conditioned to deal with it better. So even if you're not super social outside of work, you can be the super social genius on camera.
Yeah. You can almost put a mask on. You can pretend for an hour or two.
You can be the keyboard warrior, except in your case, you can have fun instead of just BM people on Xbox and talk about how you're doing their mom or whatever.
It is a great escape. Like I think anyone watching this is thinking about streaming. Like
think of it as training.
It's an unbelievable escape, and like Les just said, you are in control of everything. Every part of this you control. You can choose whether you want to speak or not. You can choose whether you want to have a camera on or not. People that come into your chat that you may not like, you can just block them and you never have to speak to them again. You're in control of your own social gathering. It's absolutely great. Rock, you're someone who I have personally seen give people unbelievable advice on Twitter, and you've given me advice, and we have talked before, and you have offered everything to me. Not everything. Chill out, chat. But just you've offered your time and expertise. to me, and you're someone I appreciate. And like I said on Twitter, I've seen you give people this sort of advice. Not necessarily they want to go live, but talked about struggling with anxiety and stuff. I've seen you in comments. So if someone was to come to you and say they were thinking about streaming, but they were struggling with anxiety, or they were struggling that they didn't think they were good enough, or just generally struggling, what advice would you give?
So yeah, I always try to, because I feel like people don't recognize really how good they are. So I always try to point out people's strengths and everything, because, a lot of, at least if you're like me, your self-critic is huge.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, I would say, just get like a meet on Twitter. That's where I met most of the people I know. Get like a small group for the first time or so. Do it short. And really just repetition. Like, I had a ton of anxiety in the beginning stage of going live and everything. And just the more I did it, just the more reps you get in, kind of just more comfortable you are. So kind of just do it. Get a close group of friends to help you feel comfortable. That'd probably be my suggestion.
Yeah, I think that can't be stressed enough. Is surrounding yourself. I say it all the time. People see me on Twitter say it all the time. I say surround yourself with people that want to see you win, and I think it's so important to build that community and to reach out to people. And that, I think that is the hardest part. Would you say, is to kind of reach out to people on Twitter and go, "Hi, want to be friends?"
Yeah.
I know. I'll tell you this, and I'm a confident person. Like, I would say I'm a pretty confident person when I get going. But even I struggle with anxiety hugely. I've said before on my streams that I had 5 years of therapy and anger management, and the anger came from anxiety. As most people who have anger issues, it is down to anxiety in a sense of loss of control. This is no exaggeration, chat, and I'll tell you boys. When I first got a mic, when I got back into gaming 6 months ago, I'd not gamed properly in years. I sat here with my mic. It was like a $15 mic as well. It wasn't an expensive mic, so it sounded horrendous. If you go back and watch my first ever stream, it was terrible. And I sat there, and when you'll know, letters, because we play the same game. Is when you go into games and they're like, say your colour's yellow, they're like, "Oh, yellow, have you got a mic?" And I'd sit there with my mic turned off, pretending I didn't have a mic because I was so nervous about talking and kind of having that social interaction. And I think when people start streaming and they get told they've got to network, which is very important to network if you want to be successful, is reaching out to people on Twitter and saying, "Hi, I've just started streaming," is tough. I don't think that can be. I don't think we can play that down. I think that is incredibly tough. But I think meeting the right people, and if you're watching this now, reaching out to people like Rock, he will help you no end. Like, he is someone who will want to see you win. I'd say reach out to Letters as well, but he don't respond. I'm joking, he does, but he also doesn't do Discord, so we'll make of that what we will. But what do you think to the tech side of things? What do you think's necessary? Because people think you should have a mic, should have a camera. You need to have OBS. You need to have a $5,000 PC, letters.
Correction is 4,200 with the monitors. Ooh, I could go over the top right now, but I'm going to be a good boy.
I'll let you take this one first, though, because you are someone who does have a solid setup. I've seen your setup; it looks good.
I would say you need some things, but
go on.
Like I said, you don't being a microphone is highly advised, but depending on what you do, it's probably not necessary. Especially if you're speed running and they're just watching you kill it.
Yeah.
That's fine, but for most part, I would think you need a microphone, a decent one. You don't have to spend $300, as long as it sounds like it's not an Xbox 360 controller or a headset. So if you just get a basic microphone that works, you're in the clear because all you got to do is worry about your sound of your game and how you sound, whatever way you want to sound.
Yeah, you
And of
gave,
course, your computer has to be good enough to play the game itself to run. Once you get those three basics, I think you're mostly fine. You're not required to do a camera because think about it as just advantages. Some people, for the most part, want to see you stream. Some people don't mind. It's just the more you have, it gives you advantages, but no guarantees. Like you said, Deli, you didn't want to do it because you didn't have a camera.
yeah,
And then I shook you like a rag doll.
Yes, you did. I was just about to say you were the one that told me to stop being a bitch.
Oh crap! Yeah, stop being a little bitch and get in there.
Yeah, like because a lot of people believe it's necessary, and as you can see from my background, I haven't got a great setup. I'm still playing on a PS4 because I before I started streaming, I'd not really been into gaming because I'd spend 3 hours a day in the gym. But
and sometimes it's not even your setup from your computer. Some people like to see your personality through stuff in the background.
Yeah.
Like on the walls. I don't have anything on the walls, but heck, I messed it up. But I know one friend who streamed a lot. He's heavily into Nintendo and Pokemon and all that, and he has like a mountain of stuff, Pokemon in the back, a bunch of other Nintendo games in the back.
Yeah.
It shows personality. It shows, I guess you want to call it, I guess either professionalism or entertainment. It just seems like he's more invested, and people like to see, people who are invested in their thing more. Where some people it doesn't matter. I mean, I have a Sephiroth sword, like a real nerd. I got a replica Sephiroth sword that I don't have in the background, but it's still together. I haven't used it like some idiot who swacked a tree with it to make himself seem cool, only for the blade to snap in half.
But that is it. People buy into people for different reasons. Like you said, your friend who's got the whole setup behind him. People will see, oh, he's a collector. I'm a collector. I want to buy into what that person's doing.
He's really into what I do. And then there's my other friend who plays just a gargantuan amount of DBD, but she has no camera. You don't know what she has in the background. She just streams and plays DBD.
Yeah, people buy into people for different reasons. Like with me, I say what I always try to create with my platform is like that feeling of being 15 again and playing Call of Duty with your friends, and you're talking about fucking each other's moms, and and people enjoy it. But that's not for everybody. People will go to, like you say, your friend who's a collector because they're a collector, so that's what they want to see. What would you say, Rock?
Well, I'm on a PS5. The setting up like the stream has probably been the hardest part for me. Just trying to figure out on like from a system aspect. I built a computer 10 years ago. It's too out of date to play any like new games now. But the reason I switched back was I'm not that great with computers, and it felt like I would only have a few hours after I got home from work, and I spent like an hour and a half trying to like install new drivers or figure out why my game wasn't playing, and I was like going back to a system.
Yeah.
But the PS5 makes it really easy to stream. It's been pretty nice.
I picture the consoles are more limited a little bit, but they're much simpler.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Definitely more limited for sure.
I'd agree with that, and I think it's quite good that we've got you both here because you've got the two aspects there, from the PC to the console, and they both like you said, letters. The console is a lot more simple. Like you just click share and you go live, whereas on a PC you've got to set it all up. But the benefits to a PC are you can have everything in one place in terms of, like, I don't know what you run off, letters, but like OBS or whatever, and you can have all that. Like, because the only other thing I've got is a Chromebook, I can't even fucking get OBS on it because you need to have Windows. But that console setup is very true, Rock. Like the trying to figure out how you go live and then how you can access overlays, and for me anyway, my only option was to use Lightstream. So then you've got to use a LAN cable, and you've got to put in a certain IP address, and like all that stuff is. That's why you need to have a community for sure. That's why you need to have a close group of friends who can kind of that knowledge exchange. I think can't be understated. Like the ability to reach out to someone and go, I don't know how to do this. How do I do it? Is integral. The headset thing, like Letters was saying, I had no idea what headset to use, and you can spend upwards of a couple $100 on like on a headset. So and it'll be shit. If no offense to people who use Turtle Beach, but if you buy a Turtle Beach headset, you are insane at this time. Like in my opinion, like
Yeah, I mean they might be good, and they're probably good for single player. But once you get the multiplayer, some headsets just repeat everything your game hears that you should hear. It's just not good for multiplayer.
Yeah,
I used to love
the
Turtle Beach when I
Astros.
played Left 4 Dead, but not anymore.
you've got
I got the Astros, and I paid a good amount for them, and I cannot. I'm on my third pair. Like a screw keeps falling out.
Oh,
like
what?
they just
What
keep.
the-
I'm like, dude, I paid way too much money to have to tape this together. So I'm on my. They sent me. I have 3 pairs that I just ended up finding the screwdriver to. So now I just have fucking 3 pairs sitting here, but it's still annoying for like how much like they market as like this quality item, just to fall apart within a month.
I was going to buy a pair of Turtle Beach, and luckily I reached out to Letters, and because his audio is crisp, and to be fair, both yours is. I've got no complaints. But he immediately went Steel Series. He's like, there wasn't any kind of like pause.
I pulled a Star Wars with Luke going to his father. No.
Yeah, he literally he just went no Steel Series. Like any of the Steel Series headsets, spend roughly
I got a Razer
$100.
headset or Steel Series. Just because it sounds basic doesn't mean it's garbage. Sometimes basic is what you need to get it to work.
These Steel Series,
Like I love Razer mouse when I had it, but it would always double click after maybe a month. It's like nope, Steel Series.
I love Razer as a brand, but their marketing is what has made them who they are. They have marketed themselves so fucking well, and I'm someone who's in sales. Like that, what Razer have done is a huge amount of amazing marketing, and I'm sure I've never used any of Razer products, but from people I've spoke to, they are overpriced from what I've heard for what you get. Whereas Steel Series, like this headset I've got now, is unfucking believable, and comes with this fancy thing. I don't know if you can see this fancy thing where you can edit all your audio and your audio outputs and control it all. And I spent I think I got it on sale, so I think it's like 200 British pounds, but I got it for like 150, I think. Can't remember, something like that.
That's a heavy headset.
Yeah, it's beautiful as well. Like it feels good. Like the fact it's got all like the metal and stuff, and you can change your caps over. But it's the only thing. It's the only thing I've spent any decent amount on for streaming at the moment. So, yeah, I don't think you have to. People who spend a ridiculous amount when they're first starting out, you don't even know you're going to enjoy streaming. You may hate it. Like, so spending a whole bunch of money before you start.
Yeah, you don't want to stream every day. I think when I first started, like I streamed for the most part, but I started streaming every day because I'm fudging. I'm here. Yeah. But eventually you get, especially if you do it for like 2 weeks straight and you're obviously not used to it. I've went to bed and woken up middle of the night freaking out like, fuck, I didn't turn off my stream. My stream's already over. I turned off. I still thought I was streaming because I'm always on the camera. I'm always being watched. And then halfway through my dream, I'm like, shit, did I leave this in?
Sleep stream. I think it's important as well to be missed. If you want to be successful, you may not want to. You may just enjoy the social aspect. But if, like me, you want to be successful in the streaming space, you've got to be missed. Do you know what I mean?
That's how they refer to it. I was told to is think of it as your favorite show. You don't watch your favorite show every day.
No, 100%.
Usually nowadays it's like once a week or twice a week. And it's at your certain times. People tend to program it around their schedule around it if it allows.
Yeah, that kind of like I know, like I sort of know now when you go live letters. Like I sort of know that like around 10 p.m. my time, you'll be live, and that's what you want to try and instill in a community if you want to kind of be semi-successful. Is people typically know, for me, obviously I don't know what it'd be your time, but people normally know Delhi goes live 7 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Same time every week, unless like obviously life gets in the way. And that's kind of what you want people to know. That's when he goes live, and you build up that routine within people. And I think that's integral, is to have some sort of schedule. Not everyone can though, I get it, but my advice would be to get a schedule and a good mic, and then you're golden. But yeah. So this is a question, and Rock, I think that this is kind of what I think you can add to this, because again, you're someone who has streamed on several different platforms. Have you streamed on any other platform, Les?
No.
No, I didn't think so. But you'll be able to weigh in because you've been in the streaming space a long time. What do you think, Rock? You take it off. What do you think of the current state of streaming and the streaming community at large?
So, on like a macro level, I think it's probably the best spot it's ever been in. Like we mentioned, like LeBron James contract and XQZ's contract and everything. But I do think it's interesting to see where it will go. I don't think the platform like Twitch is necessarily as strong as it's ever been. I do believe Kick has a lot of potential. Their app just sucks right now.
Big.
You can't even subscribe to anyone on your phone app. Like, it's just so bad. I think once they like get that fixed, it has a lot of potential. I think with the hour, I saw like the hourly rate thing too. Obviously, they're not going to pay someone with one viewer $20 an hour or anything, but no. I like the idea of it.
It's marketing, like that for me again.
Yeah.
Someone who's been involved with marketing and stuff like that. A lot of it's marketing. I would say the only comment I want to make, because I don't want to take your opinion off you and stuff like that, or my only opinion is of the thing about Twitch not necessarily being as big as it used to be, or maybe in the place. I would disagree, and this is why I would disagree again. The whole thing about how bad Kick has been for Twitch, and all the people switching over, the time-old phrase of there's no such thing as bad press, is Twitch's hashtag. I saw something about like there's something like the hashtag for Twitch had been used something ridiculous, and this is an exaggeration possibly, but 1,000 times more than it had ever been used in the last 5 years over the last 5 months. Because the amount of people that were shitting on Twitch. But if you're talking about a platform to that degree, the amount of people that have forgotten about Twitch that are now back on Twitch because and watching streamers because they'd forgotten they'd got the app or whatever, I believe the rise of Kick has only been good for Twitch, because people will switch over to Kick temporarily. But how many people did we see saying I'm switching over to Kick that switched to back a week later? Like for me personally,
I've seen it.
It's huge because people.
Well, it's mostly because they're already settled here.
Yeah, and it's so
just like the Twitter thing.
It's so user friendly, and people in the community. And I'm sorry if it feels like I'm shitting on you, but I'm purely not. But people who don't believe that Kick will change their percentage of payouts once they get big enough are out of their batshit minds, because there's a reason Twitch changed theirs. They used to do a 70-30 split for everybody, and they switched over because it's not viable to run a business on a 90-10 split. It's just not financially viable. Like I hope I'm not misspeaking, but I believe that's the split that Kick are currently offering.
Yeah, it's 95-5, but the Kick is not just by itself.
No.
It has what people were like, you can't do Kick, they're the main company or whatever, it's all about gambling and blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's a stake, isn't it?
But it's like, but what's the big deal?
I have no issue with that personally.
I would say people do it all the time anyways.
Yeah, 100%.
Ah, heck, I fell.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Go on.
Sorry. Darn it! I just bumped into one of you. Um, brain farting, trying to get this part. But But if Kick keeps buying high tier streamers and they stay, because I think Kick has the actual money, I think it will be viable because they're getting all their main money from there, and basically Twitch, once they take enough from Twitch, it makes it an actual solid competitor because they could invest more into their app or whatever, and then Twitch is kind of shooting itself in the foot because Twitch, like I would stream to Kick or whatever, even YouTube probably, if I could stream to Twitch. I'm just too lazy to, and I have friends on Twitch. I don't want to just say, "Bye guys, I'm never probably gonna see you again." I'm going to
I said
YouTube.
exactly that to Reg. I said exactly that to Reg.
But they keep shooting themselves in the foot with some of their recent changes that people have been upset about, especially the fact that you can't stream to both platforms, or once they find out you do, they'll just ban you. Yeah. Meanwhile, Kick is letting people stream to not only them, they're letting them stream to YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all at the same time. And if Twitch is always like, no, you can't do this, well, good luck in getting people to stay, especially the bigger streamers who are making loads of money. When they look over and be like, 95? That's much better than 50, or you're a massive 70% that you have to work your butt off for Twitch.
I would.
You can do it on multiple platforms.
I would agree. I would agree with that. I think the 95-5 split. I do think that will change over time. I just think it might,
but I think they won't go 50-50.
No. I agree with that. And I think what we will see as a benefit of that is Twitch will have no option but to pivot and make it more financially beneficial to stay with Twitch. Maybe not to the degree of 95-5, but I could see a time when maybe they bring back the 70-30.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of customer service issues with Twitch that just aren't really dealt with very well.
Oh no,
or hasn't been dealt with very well.
Twitch will, if Twitch falls apart, it will only be hugely self-inflicted. It'll not be down to Kick, and it'll not be down to YouTube or anyone else.
Yeah.
It'll be down to them making poor business decisions, which is crazy because it's owned by one of the biggest companies in the world. Absolutely crazy.
I mean, they're the head starter that controlled it. They're really they were basically the monopoly for a long time.
And they could have remained it if they'd not fucking made some horrendous fucking business decisions.
Now that they have competition, they're still complacent. And I think, they just...
But we saw that with YouTube. YouTube did that for a while. YouTube made some huge fuck-ups. I mean, it wasn't a fuck-up, but when they first introduced ads, like the outrage... I remember the outrage on social media when they introduced ads, and that you'd be forced to watch a 30-second advert minimum before a video started. It was a fucking funny time.
I was supposed to.
So, but before we finish, because we've got 15 minutes left, these are the questions that I just love to hear. So,
wait for you. I want to throw in one more thing on the one positive I think Amazon has, or not Amazon, well, kind of Amazon. Twitch has got going for it too, is the Prime memberships.
Yes.
It's because you can get people subs where they don't have to pay anything, I think that's a pretty huge thing for them.
And I've seen with 2 of my subscribers, and again, that is a great point, Rock, because I'd not even thought to mention that, is when that runs out as well, when they come into the next stream, I'm not sure if this is how it works, I just know because it's happened to me twice now. When their Prime membership ends, they get an option to redeem the membership. So it kind of introduces them to the idea of subscription, and then they get the option whether to carry on that subscription afterwards. I've got 2 subscribers that subscribed originally for free, and now they've kept their membership, their subscription to my channel. So that is a great point. Yeah.
That's where I get a little conflicted, though. It depends on who the streamer is, because if you're using Amazon a lot for ordering and all that, that's fine. But if you just have an Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, which don't you have to pay $15 a month to have?
I mean, I've got Amazon, whatever you call it, the Amazon Prime, for Netflix and stuff. And yeah, the first one, yeah, like say like you can just use it and press subscribe and you get it for free. The point I like is the fact that then it says, oh, your Prime membership's
Yeah.
ran out for say they've subscribed into Deli Meat. Has ran out for Deli Meat. Do you wish to continue this? Then yeah, then it kind of helps you out. But yeah, if you don't already have Amazon Prime, then yeah, it's a bit fucking crazy if you use it just to subscribe. But yeah, that's a great point. The great thing about this is I can't wait to speak to you guys again, and I've got something that I'll be announcing in the next couple months, which will hopefully, if you boys have enjoyed this, will join me in. But this is a fun part. This is the stuff I want to know. This is the juicy details. Letters, you take us away. Top 3 games of all time.
You're looking at the wrong person. I don't know. I've always been a Mega Man Legends fan. If I had to choose one, shoot, another one.
You play games since you're a kid. You've got to have a top 3.
I don't know if I have a top 3. I love so many games.
3 games that you could play over and over again.
I was like, yeah, if I had to choose, there's Mega Man Legends series, there's Legend of the Gaia series, and Yasha's Mom doesn't count as a game. It's really up in the air. I've loved so many different games. I'm trying to think of what would be a good third one. If I was Fiddlesticks, I don't know. Or just throw Dead Space in there, just because it's different from the other two. Never mind. Dead Space, Counter-Strike.
I was literally in my head then. I was like, I'm sure he said he played Counter Strike like non-stop for like years.
Yeah, I technically failed every year of high school except for senior year, and I used summer school to catch back up.
At least you made it through. At least you made it through high school.
I did through senior year easily. I've had extra credits to graduate, but during the whole high school thing, I'm like, no, Counter Strike. I was Counter Strike.
So go on, Rock. Top 3 of all time.
Okay, so I'm going. My criteria here is most played, and then the most impactful for gaming. So I'm gonna go Battlefield.
Rock, do both then. Do both, because I'm not gonna put that pressure on Letters. But give me your personal top 3, and then top 3 most impactful games. That's a great question. That's a great question.
Well, they're actually pretty similar. 2 of them are gonna be on both, which is Halo 2 and
what a shout.
And Fortnite. I think those 2 were basically kind of revolutionized gaming in that era.
100%.
Like Fortnite did a lot for streaming with like the whole Ninja Kick and Tfue and all them.
Outs.
Yeah. Like I didn't even know what Twitch was before I started playing Fortnite. Like I started playing Fortnite and then I heard of Ninja and like, Tim the Tap Man and that group. And that's when I found out about Twitch, really. And then my third one is Battlefield 2. That's like what got me seriously like in like competitive gaming. Like we had like a 16 team and we did tournaments and stuff like that. Stayed up all night, slept all day in high school.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, those are probably my top 3. I can't think of a third for gaming, like for necessarily kind of like changing the game space, because that brought in battle royales. Halo 2 was just iconic.
The Halo series, the first 3 Halos, I think, were iconic in terms of like what the buzz around Halo, like around that time, and like I said, like the LAN tournaments and the gaming online and stuff like that. Like I think Halo 2 might have been the first one I actually played at home online. I think it was the second Halo in it. But yeah, that Halo series, is that your personal top 3, or is that? Oh no, that was impactful.
That's my personal top 3 is those 2 plus Battlefield 2, and then the 2 Halo 2 and Fortnite I put in both categories, but those 2 I think kind of like changed the gaming or did something big for the gaming industry.
Yeah, do you know what? The Fortnite one's never one that I actually thought of, like considered, should I say? But like Fortnite really did change things. Like really, like like threw a spanner in the works, I think, for a lot of gaming manufacturers and just gaming in general. Is people like the reception of Fortnite was huge. Like I remember, kids were destroying their fucking existences. Like they were. I worked with a kid. I was managing. This is when I worked in like high-end fashion and stuff like that. I had a kid that worked for me and had great potential, and he disappeared. And I'm not exaggerating when I wanted to put out a missing persons ad for this kid. Like he did, like 18 years old roughly, disappeared off the fucking face of the planet due to Fortnite. Like it was absolutely crazy what that did to people. I mean, it still happens now. I get it, but like it was absolutely mental. So that leads on to the next point. Go on, Rock. Did you have something to say, Rock?
Oh no, nothing.
The final question before I let you guys like plug your channels and what you've got coming up is favorite console of all time.
PC Master Race.
Oh no! You you cannot do that. Favorite console? We're not. No.
Computer's just an expensive console. No,
it's a fucking expensive console, believe me.
I couldn't tell you. I think the most, I guess, impactful if I had to choose one. I guess they're all about the same, but I would say probably 360 when I finally got out of high school and could buy my own. And I was obsessed with Call of Duty 4. I killed 5 people with one shot, and I couldn't stream it because I didn't have stuff for it. With one shot.
The 360 and I remember like the what was it called, the red eye thing when it went red and
the Ring of Death.
Ring of Death.
Ring of Death. Yeah.
That's also the first console I propped open, messed with it, made it work, and all that jazz.
Yeah, I remember watching YouTube videos on how to fix it and stuff like that. That was crazy.
That was fun times, breaking it apart and then struggling to get the top part clipped in. Like, you piece of shit.
I just missed that time, the whole time, because I think we're all a similar age or around it. I might be completely off. I mean,
I'm old and moldy. What the hell?
I'm 23, so maybe not. But
God, I forgot you were so young.
Yeah, I thought you were older.
Of course I'm fucking older. I just lie on the internet because I can.
I'm 23 too.
Yes,
yeah, me too.
Yes. But going back to that stage of like the Xbox 360, the original Xbox, and just no other. I mean, we all had shit going on. I'm sure. I certainly did. But just that escapism. Like I'll tell you this before I ask you, Rock, because I know we've got to speed up. Is I had the GameCube, and did either of you play Harvest Moon?
No,
I don't think so.
No. Do you know what? Letters, that game that you play, whatever it's called, that fucking crazy game with the fucking ASMR music in the background or whatever the fuck it is, that makes me go to sleep. It's an amazing game. It's not similar to that, but it's the same sort of layout. Like you build all your shit.
Oh, I know what it's like.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I spent 48 hours awake playing that game right through. Didn't sleep once. But it was the summer holidays over here, so I didn't have to go to school. I didn't have to go to a job. Didn't have to socialise. Didn't have to do anything. I could just lock myself away in a room and play that game, and that's what I miss. Like I miss that time where no responsibilities, just gaming. Like, like that was. Oh god, the nostalgia is fucking real.
Fuck. Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have to wake up and go to work. Rock, best console of all time in your opinion? Do both. You're the guy that's got it. Do both. Most impactful console on the whole gaming spectrum, and your personal favorite.
Okay. Before I answer those, I wanted to throw a special shout out to Dreamcast.
Shout out Dreamcast.
even though I bought it, and then like 2 weeks later they went out of business and stopped making games for it, and I went into a deep depression. Damn it, Funko Land. But I would say probably Nintendo 64.
My guy.
Yes. I think if I had to, all cartoon games, they age well. It's like I don't know. I think it's like a good, impactful probably too. PlayStation 2 I played probably the most, but yeah, 64 was a big one for me.
Yeah, no. That's your personal favourite.
Yeah, I think so. I
Love
still
that.
have mine. Yeah.
Yeah, mine broke. I was so sad. Anyone wants to buy me an N64? Be my guest, because I miss you, baby.
I'm waiting for mine until it's worth millions.
I mean, it's not far now. I had a look because I got an N64 for like £100 with Zelda Ocarina of Time and Donkey Kong 64, I think.
Ooh, yeah.
And it was an absolute steal, and then it broke. But I had a look the other day, and like boxed versions of Zelda Ocarina of Time, like they're like $150, $200, like for a boxed version. Because I'd love that and Majora's Mask just to look at and kiss occasionally and hold me at night. Like that'd be a fucking dream. So what do you think's the most iconic? What do you think was the most pivotal? Because for me, it's like PlayStation 1. I think PlayStation 1 changed everything.
PlayStation 1, I think 360 was big. Xbox 360, I think blew PlayStation 3 out of the water. It's like the one time I picked Xbox over. Like, you could play music while, like, it allowed you to play, like, music and everything. Like, I thought it was, like...
outside the game.
Yeah. I thought 360 was on another level. Other than the Ring of Death, of course.
Yeah. No, I agree. Right, boys, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we are going to talk again because I've got big plans, and I want you both on because I fucking love talk. I could literally talk to you both for another hour at least. It's been absolutely amazing. But this is your opportunity. Let people know where you stream, when you stream, what you've got coming up, all of that. Go on, Rock, take us off.
Okay. I usually stream. Usually like 3 times a week, around 2 Eastern Standard Time. Overwatch 2, Fortnite is my staple games, but always willing to branch out.
And you play with friends and stuff, and you're mean with a sniper on Fortnite. I've seen your clips.
Oh yeah. I do play with friends and other streamers too.
Letters, take us away. Take us out.
You'll catch me U.S. Eastern Time at usually around 6 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I'll very rarely stream on the off days, but I'm usually on those 4 days. And you'll catch me playing Call of Duty, maybe we'll play some RimWorld, some Nessie, just a handful of different games, but generally they are going to be shooters. Waiting for Starfield. Come on, damn it!
Yeah, and you'll also see Letters regularly featured on my channel. Rocket's obviously always open to you if you ever choose to branch out into Call of Duty. Me, you, and Reg have to sort out a PUBG stream. To be fair.
Do you ever play Resurgence?
Occasionally, but I am absolutely dog shit. But yeah.
Oh my back! Oh, that 17 kill game! Oh my gosh, my back!
But I do occasionally. But you're always welcome. We do. I've not spoken to you about it, Rock. We do a. I'm sure you've seen it in the Discord. We do a stream of Bloodbath once a month, where we all jump into some multiplayer. So you'll definitely have to jump in on that sometime, for sure.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
But yeah, right. But yeah, appreciate you boys. Appreciate you coming on. Love you both to fucking pieces. And like I said to Yasha, I can't stress enough how much I appreciate your support that you've provided me, and obviously buying into this in the early stages. So yeah, I really fucking appreciate you both.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a fucking pleasure. I still don't know how to kick you both out, so you'll both.
I'll leave.
Here, you just gotta go PC Master Race.
Trust Letters. Oh, I don't think Thing is here. Right. But yeah, love to both these boys. Right, Raz, you're up. It might just be me and you.
I'm just trying to figure out how to leave. Hold on.